Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 11. Okay, this was pretty much a throwaway episode. They celebrated their 1 month anniversaries, but given that most of the couples are not in a good place and one already broke up, there was little for us, the viewer, to be excited about. I'm Tamara, and this is Tamara Lynette Tells. Let's chat about this episode. Nicole and Chris seem to be in a good place and are just waiting to see if what they have will last long term. Nicole seems to be concerned that eventually they will be in a bad place. Girl, so far you've beat the bad match curse of this show. Soak it in. Curl your toes up in the sand. Roll around naked in it. You're one of the few lucky ones. When Chris stepped outside to talk to Nicole's dad, her dad basically surmised that Chris is a wuss, a sap, and needs to go find him some big dick energy to be more of an alpha. Daddy, because of Chris, you are now babysitting Nicole's dogs, and it sounds like you live kind of far away. And thanks to Chris, your daughter had to renew her lease for another 9 months rather than finding a place to live together and save on rent. But you think Chris needs to puff on a big dick pipe? Nicole's family and friends keep warning that she will walk all over Chris, but all that they've shown us is her compromising for him and being nurturing to him and his untrained dogs. Now, when they watched their wedding video, Nicole kept commenting on how much she didn't like the way she looked on her wedding day because it's not the way she wanted to look on her special day. This was annoying to Chris, but if you recall, on Afterparty, Nicole said her friend popped open a bottle of champagne and got it all in her hair and face, and this happened after the makeup artist left. So they had to redo her look the best they could. Obviously, we don't know what she looked like before that happened, but in her mind, it was probably 10 times better. And seeing those pictures probably bring back how devastating that moment was. Like having champagne fly in your face, ruining your hair and makeup on your wedding day. Yeah, Nicole gets a pass for me on this one. I don't know if Chris forgot about what happened to her that day or if he was too high from smoking on his strawberry mango flavored big dick energy pipe, but he needed to have a little bit more compassion. I think we've all had a moment when we felt like our look was off or we didn't look and feel as good as we knew we could. While having a friend or loved one tell us we look amazing may take the edge off, we still know that it missed the mark of how we wanted to look and feel. So, Chris, I get it. She was a little over the top with her complaints, and to you, she looked beautiful. But just because you think she looked beautiful doesn't mean she felt it, especially if she looked 100 times better before her careless friend pointed a champagne bottle at her, popped it open, and sprayed champagne in her hair and face like she just won the Super Bowl. The most riveting conversation Gina and Chuck Norris have had all season was when they talked about eating Gina's dog, Hank. Gina and Chuck talking about if it were the end of the world and there was no food, would Chuck eat Hank? And he said yes. That took them down an entire I Am Legend type rabbit hole, with Gina questioning why he would eat his only friend. I know this was a silly conversation, but I actually enjoyed seeing one of these couples having a real lighthearted conversation that wasn't prompted by producers. They are growing on each other, but I highly doubt that it's anything more than friendship vibes between these two. Speaking of friends, if it wasn't for this show, these two would never be friends or hang out in real life. Airris talking to his friend saying that he needs a vibe in order to get attracted to Jasmine, like she needs to dress crazy or be hella funny. He's not getting any of that from her. Well, newsflash, we're not getting any of that from you either, sir. I mean, the way he's talking about Jasmine, you would think that he just won the Nashville Hip Hop Comedy Jam, and Jasmine may not dress crazy, but she dresses cute. I mean, the bottom line is these two are not compatible, and it's not because Jasmine isn't cracking jokes and opting out of wearing stripper clothes to Costco. Airris never should have signed up for this show, and they never should have cast him. In that scene where he was reading his wedding vows and then said that he vowed to put forth effort every day, and Jasmine asked if he felt like he's been putting in effort every day, he said no, and the reasons why were because he's going through the same process everyone else is. Having a wedding, being rushed off to a honeymoon, then straight to living together. The show is called Married at First Sight. Like, what did you expect? And why would you expect anything different from a show that has been serving up the same recipe for 15 seasons prior to yours? Then at their 1 month anniversary dinner, Airris saying that he would like for them to declare that they are going to wait until after decision day to have sex. So he no longer feels pressure because he's tired of being asked about it. Okay, Mr. Blow Her Back Out. That's a tall order for someone whose favorite topic is orgies. While I know it's possible for a man to withhold sex because he believes it would mean more to his partner than him, I get a vibe that he's more interested in someone else. Airris just needs to call time of death on this marriage. He's not the least bit interested in Jasmine, which is fine, but don't string her along. So during the group dinner, when a few of the couples were rallying around Airris and Jasmine, trying to encourage them and give them advice to help them out with their marriage, Airris' reply to all of their advice was, "Is married sex different from single sex?" Now, on Afterparty, he claims he asked that to lighten the mood. But this is so one note. All you have in your conversation tank is sex banter. You just told your wife that you didn't want to have sex with her, only to turn around and express in front of all of the other couples that you're curious about married sex. For the love of God, can we get an expert in their living room to ask them if they want to continue with this marriage or get a divorce, please? Jasmine, please stop trying with this man and save your energy for someone who will really cherish you. In another strange turn of events, Kirsten was complaining that Shaq doesn't consistently give her attention and greet her when he walks in the door with a hug and a kiss. You rejected this man 27 times. His hands are now in his pockets and his lips are on timeout. It's your turn to make some moves, boo-boo. Do you greet Shaq with hugs and kisses when you walk through the door? Stop playing games, Kirsten, and trying to make it seem like he's the problem in this relationship. Got the nerve to complain that he's not committed to you, not giving you attention, not spending quality time with you. Girl, you acting like you've been attracted to this man the entire time and it's his own fault he hasn't tasted your lips or visited your sugar bowl. Now, last week, I was starting to feel like she was sincerely struggling with trying to express her true feelings to Shaq, but I'm back to thinking she's playing games for the camera again. I think she's trying to avoid the villain edit and is basically gaslighting him by trying to make it seem like he's the reason they are not more intimate or further along in their relationship. During the group dinner, she said that there was only a little bit of chemistry between them. And of course, Shaq was upset because he thought otherwise. Now, I'm not trying to say Shaq is perfect because it's come up a couple of times that Kirsten will initiate conversations about their feelings. And Shaq confirmed this on Afterparty, that she's usually the one that initiates those conversations. However, it sounds like Shaq is treating it like an interview, just answering her questions and listening to himself talk. I believe, and I think, and I would like. But he doesn't reciprocate by asking her questions too. And since she's not trying to force her feelings into the conversation, which I'm not saying she should, he's in the dark. These two are a whole mess, and I don't see a road to them having a real marriage ever at all. Unfortunately, this season just feels like people who are trying to find things they like about each other so they can tolerate the 8 weeks, instead of it feeling like 5 well-matched couples that we are rooting for to stay together, build a life, and have babies. Well, that's all I got. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video.